looking at, we have an inspection that's due.
Yeah.
There is a stipulated guideline that is given by the UGC.
Okay.
And there is a requirement in terms of what they need for a proper online class delivery.
Yeah.
And we have to clear the inspection.
Okay.
So to clear the inspection, there are certain parameters that are in place.
Okay.
In terms of content availability, the studio setting and the cameras and what will go into it.
Yeah.
There is a particular ratio in which they ask for this kind of content, videos, interactive sessions, live chatting, feedback sessions, assessment grid, and also the references as well as a connect to the e-resources and the libraries that we are looking at. So you will have to just run us through that. So what I can do is, I can probably read out from the checklist what is it that we want, and you can tell us whether that you're ready for it or you're not ready for it. I think that would be the right way to look into it.
So if
because the other element is what we look at it from the hybrid model. That becomes an LMS for students who opt for an hybrid model, and where does AI come into it, and how does the teacher benefit from it? But right now we have to clear the inspection, and the UGC is tough on that. They ask you those questions, and they're very particular that you have catered to all those.
So I can if it is connectivity to library and others, we don't have that right now, because like the way I said, this was more in terms of what we have been working on.
So that's why I understood that. So that's why I wanted to tell you, because inspection we have to clear, otherwise we don't get permission.
No, if we get time, we can. It all depends on the time frame.
Correct.
Because at the end of it, library will be authentication.
No, that is one part of it. Like the grading part of it, the assignments that have to go in. How are you building in your internal assessments? How does the student get to, it's a replica of a physical classroom that they look at it from an online thing. So an online education platform is what they're looking at. And when they ask for questions, they will ask you, show this, show that, and then there is a parameter. And they'll go only by those guidelines. And that is what we need to clear. That's why I understood that we are talking different.
So is there a possibility that we can get hold of that document if possible? That way we'll not waste your time. We'll just show what this can do, just for reference, and we'll take a look at it.
Because then that will help you,
Definitely,
formulate it accordingly. Padma.
Because if each of the component is going to be critical, then there's no point. At least 2 or 3 which you mentioned are straight away not there. I can tell, because we are developing.
So you are not aware, no? Now when you are aware, then you will develop it. It's as simple as that. This what you are talking is something that would help a hybrid model.
Yeah, and not just that. We have 2 kinds of classroom. One is the regular Zoom, where we can keep microphones and this, and the classroom can be recorded either in a studio format or this, no problem there. The other one is using a VR, virtual reality, and the advantages you'll see when we.
You can show it to me, whatever you have, but then.
No, just for the podcast. So this whole course, I'm not expert, so we have just built it using YouTube content. Just go to, so it has payment gateway, all these things, so that the student can purchase. And
online, what we had worked on, the directives for the online inspection. That I used.
Online inspection case?
Not the KSHSC one, for the UGC one, we kept it. KSHSC also.
Slides?
The guidelines, the book, paper.
So what it does is, as soon as the course, in this case the lecturer, uploads the content, it automatically creates a podcast out of it. So as a student, so what I uploaded as a course content is just my video or the content.
Correct.
So it converts this into explain.
Let's start with the core question. Why study quantum computing now? Short answer, because it's a practical frontier, not just hype.
So the voice
We're
and
in
other
the
things
NISQ
can be
era,
managed.
noisy,
In
intermediate
the sense
scale
we can
devices
clone
that won't
the
run
teacher's
large
voice
fault
and we
tolerant
can
algorithms yet,
make that
but they
run.
are powerful test beds for new algorithms, error mitigation techniques, and
Yeah, so
hybrid
this is
classical
one
quantum
component
workflows.
of it.
For
We show the
engineers,
flashcards.
that means useful work today that directly shapes tomorrow.
So all these can be kind of shown or taken from there only. So these are flashcards which are auto-created based on the critical components which are required for the students, etc.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is basically an ERP that
There is a
with an LMS component where the faculty, which we already have,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of faculty lectures, there are recorded sessions, there are PPTs, and
Yeah.
all of that can be shown.
yes.
This is something that happens in an this is for hybrid model,
Yeah.
but for an online class,
Yeah.
no,
So for
we
online
have to
also.
have a different
Yeah. So there are
model.
two components. One is how is it that you want to deliver the online classes, either from studio, and from studio live streaming. Yeah.
Not some of them can be live, but
Yeah.
most of them have to be a recorded.
So can go back to the course layout, the first. No, the previous.
Online should be both online.
Both.
Yeah.
Synchronous and asynchronous.
Yeah,
both.
Both.
So click on it. Start learning. So all the lessons. Yeah. So these are all canned contents. What I mean by canned contents is pre-recorded content. Can you go to the live class? So in a calendar, you could have live classes which I can attend to, and there are two possibilities from here. Assume that as a person who's teaching, I could be sitting in a studio, or I could be sitting in or I could be teaching in a regular classroom too, which is either recorded. So click on it. This is regular Zoom, yeah, which I can click and attend, or I can convert that into a virtual reality where it can be positioned in a classroom, and you can wear the headset, and based on where the camera is positioned, you can get to see 360 of the classroom. I get to hear, I get to interact with that. So this is another way, and the best part is, as soon as the classroom is completed, so as soon as the call recording ends, the AI takes over. It allows, if I'm a student who didn't understand the class and I didn't raise any question, can go back to the chat. So it converts it into a podcast. I can listen to it on the way back home. If I miss, I can do, or I can chat and ask questions on the same set of classroom which I attended. So it can summarize, it can create a flashcard out of it, and because it is controlled by us, yeah, the guardrails in terms of if a lecturer comes and says these are the reference or further reading materials, those links can be provided, and it creates a guardrail within that. So as a student, I'm controlled in terms of how much can I go with the hallucination of AI. So that's what this does.
So when you want to.
No, I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So when there's an AI intervention,
Yeah.
And the students get the answers from the thing, how much of it will synchronize with what the teachers taught?
It will be completely synchronized on the basis
How
of
is
the
that?
video.
So because based only on the video.
No, it could be video, offline content which you get, either in any, it's multimodal.
So suppose I have a text which I
Yes.
upload my
Yes.
notes, and I also do the class.
Yes.
In the class when we don't read from the text.
No.
It's more than what is in the text.
Yes.
The text is a bare minimum for you to understand the framework.
Yes.
And then we start teaching. There'll be a lot of things which I would not have told the class yet because I expected to do it as an assignment.
Yes.
Now, when these guys ask a question instead of asking me the question, they ask the AI.
Yeah.
Isn't it possible the AI will give an answer which is different from what I thought of giving?
No. AI will give different answer, but it can be controlled in terms of what would be the base on which the answer is created.
How would you do that?
Because
Because unless you know the question, how would I know what is the base on which I should answer?
no, the knowledge, whether you give it in the form of text or you give it in the form of lecture, video, or you give it in the form of external sources, reference articles,
So
research
it captures
paper.
that also.
Yeah, it captures everything, and then what it does is it creates in our terminology, we call it as a knowledge graph. It's a interlinking of different components. It's not just a dump of the content where it reads and quotes the thing. It just creates a knowledge graph out of it, which are interlinked nodes of different knowledge areas, like the way we store in our memory. And it answers on the basis of that.
And as an instructor, I have access to that later.
Yes.
Does it give me a prompt, or I have to go and search it out?
No, you can query it even before we publish it. It can be queried, and you can approve telling this is right, this is wrong, and we can create guardrails.
So before the AI releases the answer, do they give us an option to correct it?
Yeah. The whole thing is it will be done back and forth so that we create the guardrails. This is not without guardrails, including the fact that if there is a latest research, like for example, there is one, this is also controlled. If a student tries to go beyond the boundary which is set by the teacher, it automatically prompts and says, no, this is not available. This is from the latest. This is explanation, and it has given a couple of things which is more relevant. In
So
terms of-
this, what the AI gives,
Yeah.
is prompt specific. It depends on how the student prompts for it.
It's not prompt, it's a question.
Okay,
Student-
he asked a question,
Yeah.
and the keyword is taken by the AI. Say, I'll ask you a question, for example, derivative market.
Yes.
We know there are four things.
Yeah.
Once and all that. I want to, I don't understand the thing, so I ask a question. What is swaption?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in the syllabus yet.
Yeah.
I've not taught them. I only taught the basic four.
Yes.
Now, swaption is something I know is available in my later class.
Yes.
Now they ask a question.
Yeah.
This will answer.
Yes.
How does it? Where does it draws from my
Your
notes which are already there
absolutely.
in my lesson plan?
Yes.
I would have given them.
Absolutely. And it will also
So which means I have to prepare all my slides well in advance.
no, whatever
my
you have, you
content.
can give. If you say that beyond this, don't do anything, we can respond back saying this will be taught in future. We'll have to wait for it. Or if you have all the content, because there's a cold start. Like what I mean by cold start is first, if there is a new topic coming in, first set of slides might take time for it to come. But once you have those and it's uploaded, the content is there.
Because AI's reach is universal.
No.
It can collect data from anywhere.
Absolutely. That's why we have what we call as guardrail, which is boundaries on both sides set by the person who's teaching.
So is it not beyond this?
Yeah. So if you say,
So which means our lesson plan becomes the framework more powerful than anything else rather than PLC. Right? Because this is going by lesson plan. I was asking sir a question if I have to the topic of we teach derivatives first for basic, and swaption is something I know a student knows by virtue of having worked in, let's say, online. I'm talking online class. He was already working as handle swaption. He asked a question on swaption because I have not presented the videos for that as yet. But on a lesson plan, I would have mentioned it. Advanced versions of derivative. Then, according to sir, that has to be. We have to prepare everything in advance for it to understand. Otherwise, we have to say that beyond this we don't do in this syllabus.
okay,
Am I correct?
how we respond to the student, there are two possibilities. One is if all the content is there, let's assume that we have all the content in place, and while it is created, we can always say that this will come later, pull on. But then the student has an option of opening Google or ChatGPT and still
That's
coming
exactly
in.
what I'm just going to ask you next. Now,
Yeah.
if I go to Google ChatGPT, will it give me the same answer which this AI is giving?
No. The reason for that is this one is contextualized on the basis of how
Academic articles
Absolutely.
available in the
which is given to it.
search box. Can I be explain?
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
No, I'm going to show him what exactly we require so that he knows. So there's a guideline that's
Yeah.
given by the UGC, so you have to go by it.
So if you can give us access to them.
this gives you a complete guideline on what an LMS should have, right? In terms of the learner, the learning needs, the experience, and the support part of it. So basically, if we look into how many, there are X number of 6 hours, content for it, 60 hours content for it, counseling, whether online counseling can be done, how many hours of self-learning does the student do, what is the feedback that has to be taken, what are the self-assessment questions do you have it over there, what is the study guide that is ready over there, and then it gives you about how what kind of for the online mode it should be exact replica of the classroom, and how do you have a support center for them, what kind of an what do I say, number of credits, whether he has completed X number of credits, then it has to give a drop-off saying that you have completed it. After each module, for example, if we have, let me just paste a module. After every module, for instance, you have to show them the learning material. Alright, how many assignments have you given? For each of this, for instance, when you open it, you should be able to show them the course outcomes on the portal itself. This is an unit. After every unit, you should have a provision for a case study. So it should show so many case studies are there. So many, and how do they interactively work on that. Thereafter comes their assignments. How many textbooks have been integrated? How many reference books have you gone in for? So for every unit, they expect you to show that. And there are certain conditions that they have placed as well, which talks about what is the support in a classroom, what kind of a chat is permitted and for how long? How does the faculty intervene over there? What kind of an assignment would we discuss over there? What is the feedback that the students get? And then you integrate that with our examination management system. So it's a complex kind of a process over there. So maybe you can read the guidelines and see how best it will suit your. It's a literal replica of a classroom over there, and they expect you to show it. The white labeling has to be done. You have to ensure that you answer all the questions that they give you over there. Quite a technical round that goes on over there, and that's how they expect you to work.
Most of the things happen, but let me, before I comment anything, let me go through
This is a desert notification which is there on the UGC website. So you can have a look at it, and it tells you exactly, the technical requirement. It gives you all the technical requirements.
Should I search for this?
Online application for online learning center. They give you all the. It tells you all of this, the content, how many PDFs, how many files, what are the e-learning formats, all of that is given. For assignments, quizzes, how many quizzes after each of that, how will they answer, all of that.
Those things are
and then the
already
content has to go in. So there is a technical questionnaire also that is there that we have to clear. I think I have an email ID. I can send it across.
That's so many of them. From
PGH.
PGH or
Gorpadi. Our first problem is to clear the inspection. So that we can't do anything. So then we can give you the breakup about how many what we require, how many lessons, what is the platform.
The content, modalities, all those things, including the quizzes and interaction, teacher intervention, all those things are given. Other things like library, assessment, all those things, I'll make an Excel sheet and I'll say what is there, what is not there. So I'll share if I can go first case that I'm doing. our whole point was to see if we can give more